I'm Kimberly Edwards from Cooking with Kimberly, and this is Cooking Like Alpha Beta Pie. Now, I have shown you another breakfast dish before, and I think it's important for all of us to eat breakfast, and especially on the weekends. I mean, I'm the worst person for breakfast, I should talk. It's a struggle for me sometimes to do breakfast, but on the weekends I really try and make sure that we do a really nice breakfast. We all eat and all is well and everyone's happy. So I've shown you how to do an omelet, and that's on top of your stove. This is also going to be on top of your stove, but we're also going to use your oven. Now, this is called a frittata. This is how you make a frittata. A frittata is basically just an egg dish with some flavorings. I'm going to use some mushrooms. I have some broccoli. I have some zucchini. And I'm also going to do some bacon. Now, the bacon needs to go first. It needs to be cooked before you put it in the eggs, okay? So that's going to be number one. So I have a frying pan on top of my stove here. It's on about medium heat. And I'm just going to chop this bacon into little chunks, okay? But first, I always have a problem with bacon. Okay, bacon vexes me because bacon comes in different cuts all the time and it's always different, it's never consistent. But what I also find is that if you put your bacon in your frying pan without spraying it or putting anything in there in the bottom before that bacon starts to crisp up or render some fat, it's gonna stick. And then you got bacon stuck to the bottom of your pan. Don't do that. Go on and put some oil on the bottom. I reserve my bacon fat when I do bacon. I keep all the fat and I cook with it for other things, and it's so versatile and amazing. But if you're gonna make bacon, what's better to, coat the bottom of your frying pan than a little tiny bit of bacon fat? Use a brush. You don't have to use a lot, just use a little bit. I just don't want it to stick, that's all. So I'm gonna take my super sharp knife, keep it away from my veggies, and I'm just going to slice it into nice chunks, okay? Chunks, and we're gonna brown that off. Now, you just want it to start sizzling and you want it to be brown. Now, you don't want it to go too far because you also have to saute these vegetables. I want to cook some of these vegetables before they go in the oven, because basically when you put this in the oven, it's nearly ready to go, okay? It's ready to eat almost. It just has to firm up the eggs, and that's basically all you're cooking. So the rest of it... Yes, so once this goes in the oven, you're just firming up the eggs. Everything else should be pretty much cooked. You don't have a lot of time, and you're not using a really high heat either to make everything cook anymore. So everything needs to be pretty much done. So into my frying pan goes my bacon. Hear the sizzle sizzle. All right, grab yourself a spatula, or a wooden spoon is my favorite thing to use in the kitchen. Make sure you wash your hands. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this stove top down just a little bit because I don't want that bacon just to burn. Make sure it's breaking up. You want nice little pieces all so that you can have it evenly spread throughout your frittata. Now, frittata, you don't have specific ingredients you have to use. You can use meat if you want. You don't have to. You can use other things as well. All different kinds of vegetables and spices and cheeses and etc. Now I'm going to put a little bit of cheese on the top. Again, I told you what my veggies are, but you can experiment. You can use different stuff. You can even shred carrots in there. You can use potatoes. I actually have some steak fries that are going to be fantastic for the side of this. Now you could chop those up after they're heated in the oven. I have them getting nice and browned in the oven, but you can chop those up and put it in your frittata as well. So this is just an egg dish. It's got, things floating in it. Everything's evenly dispersed. You got some cheese on top. All kinds of flavors. It's like an omelet, it's just not done on top of the stove and flipped over, basically, okay? It's all the same thing, sort of. So, I'm gonna set this aside for like 2 seconds. These are my vegetables, and I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes until this bacon has started to cook a little bit more and render a little bit more fat. That's gonna help me cook those vegetables up. I just wanna soften them a little bit. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is get my eggs ready. My eggs. I have 5 eggs, okay? I'm gonna feed you could feed 3 or 4 people out of this. Now, you're gonna put this in the oven, and then you're gonna slice it like a pizza or like a pie, okay? Now, I like to use 2 different bowls. I like to crack eggs in here one at a time, making sure that there's no shells into one bowl, and then I put them in the big bowl with all the rest of them. Otherwise, if you get a little shell and you break it in there, guess what happens? You have to chase this little tiny shell throughout 5 eggs instead of just 1 egg, okay? So just, work smarter, not harder. It's all good. It might take 2 seconds longer, but it's well worth the effort, okay? And you can season your eggs in the bowl here. Salt and pepper. That's what I'm going to use. You may also use some nice smoked paprika. That would be delicious. I'm gonna do 2 eggs here because I'm feeling confident. I'm feeling lucky today. Into my big bowl. Now, I need a towel. Okay. So now I'm gonna pour just a little bit of milk in here. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you don't have it, it's all good. I just do it just to thin out the mixture a little bit, make it a little more light and fluffy. Some salt and pepper. This is freshly cracked. It's one of those Drogeria salt and pepper grinders that I have. They're awesome, super heavy duty. They have such nice salt and pepper come out of there. It's nothing like doing it freshly done. Now, if you have some fresh parsley, if you've got fresh cilantro, you can also put some of that in here if you want to. You can sprinkle it on top after. Yum, I'm so excited. So I'm just gonna hand whisk this. Make sure you're stirring your bacon and all is well with the bacon. Okay, you need to make sure that your bacon is fully cooked before you put any eggs into that frying pan. So I'm just going to whisk these around. Use your elbow grease. You can do it, everybody. A little bit of workout today. I want them light and fluffy. The longer you can sit here and do this for, the better. Get your little workout in or not. If you want to just do it like this, that's cool. There's no rules, okay? So that's perfect. Ready to go. Now I'll be back when this bacon is a little bit further and I'll show you the next step. Okay, my bacon is nice and crispy and I'm just going to take it out of this pan because I don't want it to go any further and get burnt and all that good stuff. Now I've got some of this nice bacon fat in here still that's going to be beautiful for sauteing up these veggies quickly. Okay, so there's my bacon. It's going to be reserved. It's sitting aside for 1 moment. And I'm going to wipe this off. All right, so into this pan now, back onto the heat, goes my veggies, all right? Veggies, veggies. Sizzle, sizzle. Now I'm done with this. Okay, so same thing, stir it around. You just want them to get softened. You want a little bit of salt and pepper. You know, you want it to taste good. Simple stuff, guys. All right, so pepper, a little bit of salt. If you like a little spice in your breakfast, go ahead and put some cayenne pepper, or maybe a little chili flake or something like that. So this is just gonna go, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. And we'll see you when these have softened down a bit, and I'll show you the next step. Okay. I've checked on my veggies and they're nice and soft, okay? They're not completely mushy or anything like that, but they are softened. They will finish in the oven, okay? And while I'm cooking the rest. So now we're ready for the eggs, okay? So don't be scared. You're gonna pour them in and you're going to treat them kind of like scrambled eggs at the beginning, okay? So just stirring this back up. I'm actually gonna put just a little bit of olive oil in here, just for good measure. Okay, yeah, you can put butter if you want. I just want a little bit more flavor. I'm putting some olive oil in instead. Stir this around. I don't want it to stay. We have some enthusiastic dogs in the house today. So we want a little bit more flavor. You know, I'm gonna move this all around. In goes my eggs. Now, you can use more eggs if you want. If you have more people to feed, then just use more eggs. You can use 6 or even 8 eggs, but today I don't need that. I only need like 5. So, now, this is going to start to cook on the bottom, okay? And I want you to wait a little while. Resist the urge to start messing with it immediately. I want it to somewhat harden and you know, how you're dealing with scrambled eggs. You let them kind of harden a bit, and then you go in there and you move them around, scrape it all around, and then the wet eggs kind of fall in all the spaces where the cooked eggs were, and then it cooks that way, right? So we're just going to get this stuff going a little bit, and that's how we're going to do it. You want this to cook all the way through, but you don't want it to burn. So you want it on low heat when you go in the oven, okay? But you also want it to be somewhat cooked. Now you could put it in the oven just like this if you really, really wanted to, and let it bake. And that's perfectly fine too. It's just gonna be in there longer, and that's okay. So that's what we're gonna do. In the meantime, now I am going to grate some cheese. Okay, so as I'm getting prepared to grate my cheese, I'm checking on my eggs. This doesn't take long. Eggs don't take a whole long time. Now you're just gonna move that bottom, and I'm gonna kind of maybe show you what that looks like if I can. You're gonna move everything in the bottom. Make sure everything's still evenly distributed. You want your broccoli everywhere, you want your mushrooms everywhere, but you wanna scrape the stuff that's already cooked off the bottom, move it around so that the liquidy eggs, I don't know if you can see, I guess you can, the liquidy eggs can get to the bottom, okay? This is a nice little trick to start with. So, scrape along the sides. I love using one of these silicone spatulas. If you haven't heard any of my other shows or anything, watch them. I love these. These are my favorite things. Spatulas that are silicone heat proof and wooden spoons. Send me spoons and spatulas. They are my favorite thing. Okay, so this looks really good. I'm turning it way down on low so that I can get this done, ready and prepared. I'm gonna just grate some cheese. I'm using some old cheddar today. You can use whatever you got. You just have to use what you have, you understand, or what you like. Now you could use mozzarella, you can use the cheddar, you could use Gouda if you wanted. You could dot the top with feta. You could dot the top with goat cheese. So if you want to be frou-frou, you can, and if you want to just use mild cheddar and that's what you have, or marble cheese, or whatever the heck you've got in there, that's what you use. You understand me? All right, so that's, I don't know, maybe a cup of cheese. With the vegetables, I just eyeballed them. It doesn't have to be specific either. Okay, so we're gonna move this around one more time and show you what this looks like. It's like looking like it's gonna be set very soon. So now I'm just spreading it all along the bottom, making sure that everything's nice and even, that liquid is filling in the gaps. All my veggies look beautiful, and I'm gonna sprinkle on in my bacon. I'm gonna bring this over here so that you guys can see me finish this off, okay? All right. It doesn't need to be on there anymore. I want to finish it in the oven, not on the stove. So I'm gonna sprinkle on all this beautiful bacon. Make sure that's evenly distributed too. Beautiful. I probably don't even need all this cheese. You can use it if you want to. You don't have to. I'm just sprinkling on the top. I just want a little bit. I want it to brown and look bubbly and pretty. Gives me a little bit more protein as well, as though eggs aren't proteinaceous enough. But it'll give me a little more protein, a little bit more flavor. Okay, so that looks beautiful. Ready? I'm also going to sprinkle it. I wish I had some fresh parsley, but I don't, and it's spring here, so I'm going to sprinkle a little bit more pepper on the top. Oop. And I'm also going to put in some of this Frittata smoked paprika just on the top. Open this bad boy up. This is super stuff. Bang for your buck. Love it. Sprinkling on the top. It's smoky. It's sweet. It brings a little bit of color. It's just what you want for a Saturday morning breakfast. I don't know about you, but this is going to make me pretty happy. So, into my oven. It's already preheated at 300 degrees. I'm going to let it go. Probably watch it, I don't know, 10 minutes-ish. We'll see. I'll tell you. Now, if you're using one of those frying pans to go in the oven, okay, make sure, I should have said this at the very beginning, the handle must be stainless steel oven proof, okay? It can't be one of those plastic handle kinds. Something that looks like this, like with the yeah, don't do that because it's just gonna melt, and what are you gonna do? It's just gonna melt in there, not cool. Make sure it's oven proof. Also, it's very easy to fall for the trick of grabbing that handle, because that's what handles do, that you're supposed to grab them. So you have more of a tendency to want to grab it, even though it's like hot lava inferno and you don't want to burn your hands onto that. Please use a hot pad. Please use a hot pad. Anyways, if you guys are looking for hot pads or anything like that, funny segue, wasn't actually why I was doing it, but now that I'm holding it, these are from a website called 22qcentral.org. And a woman named Sherry Gomez out of Arizona, she's my friend Sherry, she's out there and she makes these. Her son has a syndrome called 22q11 syndrome, and it's she also wrote the book Missing Genetic Pieces. Go check that out. Anyway, she does these really cool, like, she'll do custom colors for you and stuff, and she does them for like on your dish, your handle for your oven and stuff. They're so pretty, and she sent me a dish towel. Come on now, they're so cute. Anyways, do yourself a favor, do something fun and cool and get something custom and help somebody out at the same time. So go check them out, 22qcentral.org, all right? All right, so I'll be back, and I'm going to show you what this looks like when it's all ready and bubbly and ready to go. Okay, bye. Okay, it's ready. Here we go. Taking her out right now. It was ready in about 8 minutes, and I just looked at it. I'm gonna show you. It's all fluffy like a cloud. It's all melted and bubbly cheese. All my vegetables are nice and soft in there. I have that bacon all crisped up. Now that's how you do it. That's a frittata. So now you can slice it. You can eat it cold if you want to, kind of like a quiche. You could kind of treat it like a quiche. It just doesn't have a crust. Now I'm just gonna slice a nice little wedge out of here, kind of like a pie. Like alpha beta pie, this is like an egg pie, okay? So, be careful, it's always hardest to get the very first piece out. I'm probably gonna make a big mess, but hopefully no, I didn't. It's nice, pretty nice. Beautiful. Now, you can serve this with hot sauce. I like mine with sriracha. This is a super cool sriracha sauce I got from Qualifirst Foods. Make sure you check them out online, qualifirst.com. Really inexpensive ingredients, super stuff from all over the world, imported and everything. Even if you're in college, you can afford like a bottle of a little something to like just make you happy in your kitchen. Now I'm gonna try this. This is a sriracha style yuzu citrus red chili sauce. This is from Yuzu Pao. So good. Excuse me. All right, so I'm just gonna dip it in there. I'm gonna try this. Mommy, would you like to try some?
Oh, I would love to try.
Here comes Mom. I'm going to get you a fork.
I'm hungry.
Mmm.
The mother is hungry.
The broccoli is cooked perfect. Hold on, Mom. Here you go.
Beautiful.
Say hello to Alpha Beta Pie.
Hi, Alpha Beta Pie. They look like little jewels in there. All the
so
different
good.
colors.
Here's that sriracha if you want to just, I know it's hot, but you might, it's a tasty. Try it, Mommy. This has to be mom-proof.
It's great.
Saturday morning breakfast. Don't I always take care of you on the weekends?
Really great.
This is my mom, Ingrid Turner. Make sure you check her out,
Hi,
ingridturnertoday.com. And I know you all may be in college, etc., and some of you may not be, but I'll tell you what, my mom gave me more information in my life and knowledge and teachings than I could ever quantify.
Oh boy, that's hard to live up to.
It's true. So go check out Mom, you know what I'm saying? Listen to our elders and what they have to say because they know what's up. You got me?
Try.
You think you know stuff? They've been here longer than you. They know more stuff than you do. So open up and be ready.
People, this is beautiful.
Is it good?
Look like little gems all in the egg.
So
it's beautiful.
Yeah, I put the zucchini, some cremini mushrooms, some broccoli, the bacon, that cheddar, the old cheddar. How do you like that sriracha sauce?
Really nice.
There you go. So that's how you cook frittata. That's how you make frittata. And impress your friends. This is super simple. Really inexpensive. I just used eggs, a tiny bit of milk, some really inexpensive vegetables. I mean, the cheese is probably the most expensive thing.
Right. It could be breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack.
And you can do it
midnight snack.
You can do it vegetarian as well. You don't have to put meat in it. Or you can put all kinds of meat in it and make it meat lovers. Whatever. Yeah?
That's good.
All right.
Good. Really good.
So try it out. Make sure you're eating. Feed that brain, everybody. I hope you guys check me out on Twitter. Follow me at Cooking with Kim E with a capital E. I hope you like the fan page. It's facebook.com/cookingwithkimberly. My shows are on youtube.com/cookingwithkimberly. And my site is cookingwithkimberly.com. Make sure you come out. Interact with me. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what's going on out in the world and with my recipes and stuff. I hope you guys experiment. Make sure you check out Alpha Beta Pie. It's alphabetapie.com. And that's it. That's all. Be a champion in your kitchen. You can do it. Eat deliciously. Bye.
Bye-bye. This is so good.
Yeah.